I'd like to welcome y'all to the Cozy Trucker YouTube channel. This gonna be a longer form video right here. I named my YouTube channel the Cozy Trucker. It used to be called See Me in My 50s. Well, first thing first, the word Cozy Trucker has a lot of meaning to it. And Cozy is actually my deceased mother's name. She was a very comfortable person, comfortable in life. So as a young child, her mom started naming her Cozy. And I've always believed in being a cozy and comfortable trucker, been in the trucking industry for years. But today, truckers and everybody in the transportation industry, we gotta talk, really. We gotta talk. I'm gonna try to keep this as brief as possible. I've been working as a no force dispatch independent contractor as a trucker, as somebody basically just in the transportation industry. And I'm starting to see on the road, I pretty much work when I want, and I believe all truckers or people just in any form of transportation industry, whether you doing Uber, Lyft, you driving trucks, you doing bobtail, you driving Sprinter vans, you should you should find some way to transition as an independent contractor and a no force dispatch independent contractor. Basically, you working when you feel like working. Now, I'm gonna tell you one thing: flexibility costs money. You're gonna have to give some things up. You're gonna have to sacrifice some things. You're gonna have to learn to do without certain things. When I say things, material things, because a lot of people out here work jobs that they don't like, and they're stuck there because they may accumulate too many material things. Now they end up with a lot of debt. So they end up working schedules they don't want, and they end up not getting paid enough. And I see this carried on in the trucking industry all the time for years. And now with inflation just getting worse and worse, I'm not experiencing inflation, but a lot of truckers are. What I see on the road is a lot of truckers have gotten more aggressive. And you talk to them, and I overhear them talking about how they're not getting paid enough. I see it on social media. Some of them dealing with financial issues and everything else. Some of them are owner operators, and they have trouble with the maintenance on their vehicles. They don't have enough money to make payments on, things that's going on at home, and they just got in over their head. And they end up working schedules, taking loads that they don't want. They have, horrible sleeping patterns because they believe strongly that, they need to hold on to their things. I used to be like that. I graduated from that way of thinking because I now prioritize my health over not necessarily financial wealth, but accumulating things. And see, a lot of people just want to make a bunch of money just to buy more stuff. And they don't realize I'm not a financial advisor. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about trucking. I've been seeing it in the industry with truck drivers. And it seems to be that's the problem. Why a lot of truckers are dealing with they're a lot more aggressive on the roads. They're not prioritizing their health like they should. And this channel is all about being a comfortable, cozy trucker on the road for longevity, being more comfortable with your life. And what I'm talking about is work-life balance, especially for truckers, because I know we spend a lot of time on the road. And work-life balance, meaning your work and your home life, your personal life should have a balance to it. But a lot of times, a lot of people in the trucking industry, have a horrible work-life balance when they actually need to prioritize their personal time off. They need to make sure they learn to basically spend time off, and be as healthy as possible off the job, no matter what you believe healthy is. Well, I don't see that no more. After years of it, actually, I've never seen it, but it's gotten worse over the years with a lot of truckers, and that makes them more aggressive on the road because they more stressed out, and the thing is, a lot of you truckers are blaming the companies. I can't go against the companies. I go against the truckers on this level. And the reason why I go against the truckers, because a lot of truckers have gotten themselves in bad financial trouble because they choose to just hang on to a lot of their things when they probably need to let go. Now, I've never owned a truck, but I have leased trucks. Financially, that's more beneficial for me, although it's can be a little expensive. I told myself a long time ago, I don't like maintenance. I don't want to be responsible for the maintenance. Yes, it could be a lot more expensive. I'm not telling you to do that, but that works for me good. But what I've seen basically, for example, looking for work as a truck driver for myself, I've never, out of all the years I've been on the road, had to work on a Sunday. That's a day I take off. I've never had to work on a Sunday unless I had to. But it's not because the company told me to do it. It's because I wanted to get something done. I could have waited. But if I wanted to work on a Sunday, it's because I chose to work on a Sunday, not because I had to work, because I had to get a load delivered by Monday. No, screw that load. I'm not telling you to do that. But I am going to promote that truckers adopt a more adequate work-life balance for themselves. I'm going to also promote truckers start transitioning into this more no force dispatch, independent contracting or contractor position as they stay within the trucking industry, because you're going to benefit more from it. I say mentally, less stress. Yeah. Work may be a little bit hard to find, but if more truckers do this as a collective, the companies are going to have to adopt this, this way of life for truckers. But truckers got to do this as a collective. That no force dispatch, independent contracting or contractor position, especially when we hear things about, automation, freight is down. Hey, that's something that we can't control. But there's other industries to get into that if you keep your license clean, you keep your CDL clean, you still want to be in the transportation industry. And I'm gonna always say the transportation industry is one of the best industries to get into, no matter what industry you in. I'm gonna always say transportation industry is the best industry to get into, because everything needs to be transported, from things to people. But you got to be no force dispatch as you stay in the transportation industry, whether you a trucker or, like I said, if you choose to sit up and drive Sprinter vans, no matter what company it is, no force dispatch. Figure out how you're going to work your bills, because what you're doing out here is taking loads you don't want. You basically not getting the sleep that your body needs. Some of y'all not working out. You're not exercising. You eating horrible on the road. And these companies really don't care. They care about you getting them loads delivered, you making them some more money, and you not tearing up their stuff. And then what happens to you as a trucker? You complain you're not getting paid enough and you're working too many hours. Well, instead, the first thing you need to mention before you take a job is tell them what days you don't work. It's either yay or nay. Tell them that. You'll find out it's probably hard for you to find work. Then when you realize that, you probably need to start cutting down on your pills. I'm not a financial advisor, but I am going to promote no force dispatch for all truckers and everybody in the transportation industry. I'm going to keep promoting that for better work-life balance, because you're not going to get that basically giving a company all that power. They telling you how much they going to pay you, and they telling you when to go to work. That's too much power for you to turn around and complain about it. You giving that power to them before you even start working for them. You handing over that power for you to just complain about it. They suck you in with the money and the benefits. See, one thing about it being an independent contractor, you got to pay for your own benefits. Now, I know some of y'all going to say, well, I got kids and all that. Hey, that was your choice. I love it. I raised them already. Yeah, I had to do things I didn't want to do back in the day. But one thing I tell you about having kids, they get old one day. They're going to get old. Okay? You're going to have to start finding other strategies to get yourself out of that situation. I used to sit up there and work schedules I didn't want to do either, but I don't do that no more. Yeah, I would like to make more money, but I have other streams of income. But I would like to make more money in transportation, but companies, I have to tell them up front, that's the first thing I discuss with them is what days I'm not working. I usually say the only day I'm not working is Sunday. You have 6 other days you can get out of me. Oh, well, we don't know about that. Oh, you got 2 feet, kick rocks. That's why I tell these companies, kick rocks. I'm not going to work for you. You got 6 other days, Monday through Saturday. But you want me to basically keep Sunday open too? No. I just wanted to break that down to y'all real quick. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. But I'm going to keep promoting truckers, people in the transportation industry that want a healthy work-life balance. You in control of that. I'm going to promote no force dispatch for people that's been in the trucking industry and they want to transition. Now, how you get to that level is up to you. I'm not a financial advisor. You want flexibility. You want more control over your time. You want to tell these companies when you want to work. You got to do that in the beginning before you take the job. Tell them what days you're not working. If you don't want to be a night driver, tell them I don't work nights. I tell these companies as an independent contractor, hey, I'll start after 4 a.m. and my bedtime is between 9 and 10 o'clock at night. Every night. I'm not switching that up for nobody. So until next time, I'm going to start making more longer form videos, especially for truckers. And until next time, this is the Cozy Trucker. See me in my 50s. Talk to you later.